The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Partially during our space flight, we landed on an asteroid. Over the course of a few hundred cycles, we had mined out the asteroid, converting its resources into various things that we needed in order to keep 24 dupes alive. We made a lot of automated machines to take, cool, or convert items into other items. We then turned on a machine that would allow us to take a dive into the dreams of one of our dupes. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Oxygen Not Included. And what we did in the last stream was not very much in terms of what we had to do. And I'm only just now realizing that our rocket platform goes all the way up to the vacuum of space, or up to the build limit. What we did is that we dug out all of this asteroid. We also put in the top part, I think, on Friday? I don't think we did this last Sunday, this entire top portion. And we started dropping all this water so that it all pulls down here. We'll have to do a little bit of cleanup, but it shouldn't be too bad. We also did bring a rocket over to Chiliol to attempt to land a rocket platform on there, but our dupe, being, I think Gino's in here. Our dupes do not have any oxygen in the suits because I forgot to take the suits off when they got into the rocket from our home planet. So we're sending them back home so that they can get new suits, and then we're going to send them back out after we get stocked up on what I think is this food. We went through a lot of food. Unless we did not fill this in, or unless it became dirt. I'm not sure. We had a lot more food than that. We had 25 cycles worth of food. Now we only have 3.5 because we have 2 dupes. But anyway, they're going to go home at some point. Once this jumps up to being underneath Wadado, we will be sending them back out after a few minutes. But anyway, let's focus on this colony. This is going to be mined out in the background behind all that. Our main thing that we're focusing on is space travel, getting into that third planet. But this is a nice thing to wait for, or to do while we wait, because otherwise we'd be waiting nearly 3/4 of a cycle just for them to get back, just for us to send them back out, which will take another, I think, full cycle. Okay. We did set up a pump, so while the water is falling down there, it is immediately getting pumped into here. We did also fill in a chilling area, I think. I think we found the way to chill. Yeah, we're chilling the water down. We're doing an endless loop here until it gets cold enough for it to be sent out. And that is so that our plants do not get overheated, which then produces heat into our base. So right now it's cooled down. This is going to keep heating up because we need it for the pitcher pepper nuts to be above 35 degrees. So we're just taking the cold polluted water, or mostly frozen polluted water. It's getting sent through the spawn occasionally into this big pool where it then transfers its heat. It takes an average of the temperature that's already in here and the temperature that's being sent in. And that temperature then gets heated up by the hot water, which is also being cooled down by the polluted water. Now this, saying 59 degrees because that is from the steam vent. Most of this water is going to be very hot. We should be able to mop all this up now to try and get rid of it a little bit faster. So I'm going to set up a large mop command to get all that water. Whatever they choose to do first is whatever they choose to do. There are, what, 4 or 5 dupes doing this right now? I don't think they're all out here. And they also can't get down to here, so I'll need a way for them to get down. I think I might just do that and put a ladder right here. This is just to help with cleanup. Okay, they did all of that. This is still draining and has quite a bit of water. I don't think they can mop anything over 100 kilograms. If I'm wrong, they can mop this now, but I don't think they can. And we actually didn't end up filling out this entire thing, which I'm surprised about. Yeah, they can't do more than 150, maybe? What's right here? That's now 150. Can I do that? Yes and no. So it has to be 150 kilograms or less in order for them to be able to queue up a mop command. And as they mop more, this drains a lot quicker. There we go, that's all done. We'll mop up that, we'll mop up this. And they will slowly fill this up a lot more. Which we actually did get down to 400 kilograms. This was in the 800 range, so that is going down over time, which is perfect, because we want this to go down to the point where the liquid vent is being used more than them dumping water into it. Now, with that being done, let's deconstruct that. I'm also going to set the deconstruct on buildings only, and this onto gas. That is what we use those two things for the most. And this, we are going to do a cheat to see what this is. I'm pretty sure it's a volcano. It's probably the iron volcano. It is. So although we don't really need iron on this colony, I think I want to set this up to be a iron volcano or a tamed volcano. Not sure how I want to do that. That also means that we need to bring more petroleum into this colony. Which should be fine. Last time we brought stuff here, we piped it all the way up there. We're not going to do that this time. I am going to set up a storage bin that we can then pull stuff out of using the bottle filler. So I will put that not down here because it's a 3 wide thing. So let's cancel this, put this over here after we get rid of this ladder. And instead we'll put the bottle filler right here. This is all so I don't have to put a lot of pipes going around the base now that we have this all built up. I don't really want to keep taking away things and adding more stuff in. So go right there. I don't want this connected in right away. Doesn't require any power, which is great. And if I go to Wadata, which now has the other rocket, let's check in on the rocket, see how it's being filled. It's doing pretty good. They're getting more dirt. Or not dirt, we're getting more rat pills in there. That's awesome. Right here. So this already has the stuff into it. Now, why are there a bunch? Oh, we were sending the seeds over. And there is, I can't tell how many there are here. If I wrangle them, they may end up going to a place where we actually want them. I want the Sweetle egg to come way over here and go into this. I need to see how many Atmos suits are here, and I can't really tell. It looks like they're sending worn out Atmos suits. Because we should have enough Atmos suits here. We're missing 3, so that should mean that 3 dupes are not inside the base. I actually don't see any dupes. Oh, here's 1, 2. So that counts for 4. There should be another one inside the base. There's the other one. Oh, they're both down here. So we are missing a suit. Or are we? No, we have 6 dupes here. So we actually have the right amount. So I don't know what this amount of suit is for. So they came over and wrangled a few things, but not all of them. To now grab this other egg. So I'm gonna guess that our Atmos suit docks over here are not full. If I put the egg there, I don't know if they'll fall through the door or not. Hoping they do. You know what I should do is make sure that this isn't still sending suits. So if we go all the way down to... Oh, I went past it. Clothing. So those were suits that we sent a while ago. That wasn't anything that we sent recently. Or accidentally sent recently. So what I want to do is relocate all these to right here. And it's a little bit easier to see now because the Sweetles aren't moving around. And there's another Sweetle egg. Either that, or they picked up a Sweetle egg and then dropped it and it didn't get sent over. I don't know, but they haven't moved these Sweetles in a while, so let's just kill them off. Relocate this egg. It looks like a Sweetle just got out of their thing. We'll let them handle this. There isn't a lot of debris here. Another Sweetle just got out of the wrangling. They are all out now. I am still thinking about putting a debris chiller in both colonies. We would definitely want one on this asteroid just because we have so many volcanoes that would all go together. An iron volcano, cobalt down there, we have cobalt in the top right, somewhere right here. We have gold. We could send all that stuff into a debris chiller, along with all of our volcanoes doing igneous rock. And the only reason why we would want to do 2, one on Persephone as well, is because we are also using the aluminum here. It's not only going to the other asteroid. So it'd be useful to have a debris chiller on both. Let's deconstruct all this. That's all reachable from right now without any ladders. So I don't have to worry about them not being able to get over something. And I will just dig out this entire bit here. I'm going to pause for a second because we're going to do a lot of plants. It's an unnecessary dig command that they don't need to do. Including all of that. I think that's all the plants. Nope, some here. And now we deconstruct everything to here and all that. And now we add in ladders where they won't be able to reach. Like right here, they won't be able to cross over. Won't be able to cross over that. Over here, they won't be able to reach this top layer because this is down 1 block, so I'm gonna do ladder over like that. I think I need a ladder right there, but we'll wait to see if they can't cross over this. If they can, they'll be able to grab everything. Then we of course need ladders here because it's a wide open area, and 1 ladder there. And we'll put a ladder over here. Now we're not going to block this off because there's no liquid up here, and no debris is going to be able to fall in there. So that should be the next layer of stuff for them to do over here. How are they doing at cleaning this up? I started cleaning this up just because of us needing to bring the petroleum. And if I could get this Sweetle taken care of, I wouldn't have to keep looking at. There we go. I think that's an atmosphere we haven't relocated yet. I can't really... Oh. Throw that right there. I want a 7. I think it's a cleaning command. It's not. It's duties. It is, but so is the machine, which is also on a 7, so that shouldn't matter. Do that, we'll do that. That should get them to move stuff right away. I'm not too sure. I did come over here to look at this because I need to figure out how much stuff we needed again. So from here to here should be 40 blocks. Get down to the ladder's 40. That is 400 kilograms of petroleum per set. And I don't remember how many times we send that over per set. This bottom one is 2 sets, so we'd have to break off the pipes twice. And then I guess a 3rd set would do this top part. So we need really 120 tiles of petroleum to go into that. Let's cut it off now and just do the math. So the earliest I can cut off is right here. I can't cut before the bridge, so that 1 packet's going to go up either way. And I can't see a length without doing the dig command. So I'm going to go all the way down to where it's 40 from this spot, which is right underneath that ladder. And another 40 goes to the bridge. Oh, that's 37. So we would need another 3 from here, which would lead to this spot. And then this has to be another 40. Which leads all the way down to 2 underneath this ladder. So I would need this to stop flowing for a second, to make sure that we have full packets. And then all of this has to go into our reservoir on the other colony. So send that in, and it'll do a 50-50 split until this is all emptied out. On the other hand, we should be able to send this up pretty soon. As soon as I see this constantly flowing, there we go. So that's ready for the moment that this breaks off. This is a lot of petroleum to be taken away from our power network, so we're probably going to run out. Actually, we have an infinite source there. Not infinite, but infinite storage with a backup. So when we go over to Persephone, we should see that this fills up with 120... No, 1,200 kilograms. And then we have the petroleum ready for this. Something else I can do to make this a little bit easier for us to build is block off tiles so that we're not taking away, so that we don't have to vacuum out as much. And this is 4 tiles high above the neutronium. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, that goes to where I put the net block. So that means that's all natural tiles. That's a natural tile. And how far away did I go? 2, 4, 5, 6 to that spot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That starts the double liquid lock, which doesn't have to be 2 things of petroleum. Just has to be 1 thing of petroleum. And I'm purposely trying to keep this open until the last moment. We are going to need a way up here, which will build down ladders over time to get up here. Okay, with that being ready, you know what? Let's just go straight up to make it easier for them to get up and over, since we are blocking off this part. They should be able to still deconstruct that ladder once they get this ladder built in again. Another thing I want to do is really break into this, just so that we're not digging out that oxalate. So if I add a single ladder right there, and then we go like this, they should be able to get up to here, and then we can just burr that out. That'll help with them getting as much oxalate open to the air as they can. And then it just has to overpressurize with the other oxygen that's around here. This chlorine gas is going to flow downwards, so I'm not worried about that. And if I'm lucky, we can keep this no. We're gonna have to put in 1 tile. I didn't know there was a piece of sand in there. We need that tile there so that we can keep this a vacuum. We'll set this to water. I'll put it on a 6 and enable auto bottle so they can take from our big pool down here. So hopefully this doesn't overflow as much as I think it will. We do still have various bottles throughout the base that we're still picking up. So I think there's still a chance it will overflow that, but they could end up taking all the bottles from the floor and adding it to that instead of taking it into our big area. I think they're doing it only because it's closer, but not because that's what they're programmed to do. Like, programmed to prioritize. We put all these tiles in. We can also put in tiles here and in there. They should be able to reach. They can reach that from the ladder, so even if they block this off, they can't get back down. They should be fine. Hopefully dupe does not block themselves in. They did. So I'm just going to go like this, and hopefully they can build themselves out, or at least get themselves saved. Oh, they could have just walked right out. I didn't realize that. We might have to put a block right here, because I don't know if them putting the water in is going to push the oxygen over and then destroy it, or if it's just going to block off the water from getting to this tile. I think it's just going to block it off. I don't think water is going to be able to get in that tile. But who knows? I do want to try and make this a little bit easier to get up. So if I just take away that, this makes it a natural staircase. It may be faster for them to climb up 2-tile high staircase rather than 1 tile, but I don't really know the science behind that. So this is now fully enclosed. I can cue that to be deconstructed. We're gonna want another bottle emptier right here, because that's gonna be for the petroleum. And then I just need them to focus on making us a liquid lock before we get into here. So I'm going to queue this up to be bottled. I'm actually curious to see how this works. I think it just goes in and then it automatically makes a bottle. Or does it need a certain amount? How much is in here? It looks like it needs 200 kilograms, which is great because we're doing this in something that can be divided by 200 kilograms. So they're gonna make 6 bottles that then have to be transported up here, and they did make that one tile of oxygen. So let's build that in. They also finished doing all this, so let's take the debris off of there. Let's check on this rocket, which is now ready. They did not sweep that up. I think that's just new dirt. I'll let them sweep that up. We'll check on that in a couple seconds and send the rocket out. Only this time we have to make sure to get the suits off of the 2 people that go in. Which, from what I remember, it's Papa Rasputin and Gino that are in there. And that's the last bottle that I like to have in here. I like having the water up here above 100 kilograms, but I don't think there's a need to have it above 100. You could also completely fill up that tile. It would still work the same. So let's deconstruct that. We're going to dig into here. And also, I guess these 2 tiles. This should stay a vacuum no matter what. Can I also get them to dig this? Because that's going to be in an awkward place later on. We are going to need to make ladders down here, I think. If I do this smartly, I can just do that. How are you able to reach that, Sophie? There's a tile in front of you. Don't know. Kind of proud that they were able to do that. Let's set this up to be petroleum. Enable auto bottle just in case. Because I don't know if this counts as a non-auto bottle thing. So now that should empty again and fill up with 200 kilograms. And we just want to empty out our reservoir. I don't want any of that. This bottom tile should get close to 800 kilograms. And then the remaining 400 goes in here. Which should be around 150 kilograms per thing. Oh, they're also building all this. Awesome. So that'll be ready the moment we have this set up. Now the next thing I need to math out is how much water we're going to need up here. So if I pause, we have 34 tiles that need to be divided by 6. It's going to be 340. No. 3,400. Each tile needs 100 kilograms of steam, which is 100 kilograms of water. Which means that we do need 3,400 kilograms of water for this entire thing to be full of steam. Each tile is 1,000 kilograms. I feel like I'm doing math wrong here. I did know that each tile is 10 tiles worth of steam for this conversion. Yeah, I don't know why I'm overthinking this. We're just going to divide 3,400 by 6, which gives us a little over 550. It's 566.66 repeating. That would take quite a while. What is 200 divided by 6? A third. I'm trying to debate on if I'm going to use the dupes to transport bottles over, which would take a very long time, because 3,400 divided by 200 would be 17 bottles, which honestly doesn't sound too bad, because they're going to be digging as well. They're going to be digging out the rest of the colony, so it's not like we need a dupe. We're going to do this by bottles. It'll take longer. This should be fine. I just need this to be filled up to that layer. How much is left in here? 480. That's because there is stuff in the pipes. So it was really 600 kilograms. Right now there's 400 kilograms. There is 120. So that means there's 12 pipes. From this point to this point, there's 12 pipes. That next bottle should send us over the edge of here, leading up to here. Which means I can come in here now. Actually, I should have did this first. Because the moment that this overtops, it's gonna cause issues here. Actually, it won't, as long as we don't dig out further. We're doing okay. Because that petroleum is going to be pushed back in here, it's not going to be deleted. Alright, now that that is a liquid lock, we never have to worry about this, which is for some reason full of oxygen all of a sudden. We'll have to work on that. Let's dig all of this. I need that deconstructed so I can put the bottle emptier in here. And then we should only have one more bottle. Or that was the last bottle. I think that was the last bottle. We are going to disconnect this for right now. Just so if we send another liquid in here that we don't want bottled, it doesn't automatically get bottled. Although I don't think there's an issue with any of our stuff being bottled. Deconstruct that. Did they sweep up this one? They did sweep it all up. And that's not petroleum, but it will be. So let's tell them to sweep up all of this. Just to get that out of here. We're gonna have to tell them to sweep up all this as well. Because in a little bit they won't be able to get to that. The Sweetos are gonna have to go somewhere. We can worry about them in the future. Something we can't worry about in the future, or shouldn't, is the oxygen. Again, I have no idea how oxygen got in here. Maybe there's a little bit of oxalate that off-gassed, because there is... Oh, that's like a full block's worth. Like it escapes from out here into there. Don't know. We're gonna block it off. Like this. And I'm not sure why they didn't move the muck room. Maybe our refrigerator is full? No, it's not full. I don't think we have the setup for having muck room in it. We could put a regular storage bin down there. Let's do that. Doesn't have to be in carbon dioxide, because it's going to be stuff that doesn't spoil. Edible, we want excellent fruit, muck root, nutrient bar, and swamp tripart. Well, down on a 7. Is this on a 7? That's on an 8. Because it's for taking food out of the rocket. Okay. Then let's build these 3 tiles in. I'm also going to queue up this to be swept. And if I'm lucky, I can get these dug out before the Sweeto comes back over there. So that's one way to keep the Sweetle out. And I think I'll do this one as well, because they shouldn't be able to come down and then back up. If we're lucky. We also can't get up there now. So let's do that. We need one more tile and then we're done. So we can deconstruct that and then get back in here. Hoping we're able to dig that out. I'm gonna have to cancel it if the Sweetle's not over there. Yeah, let's cancel that for a moment. We can deconstruct all this and have that a vacuum again. And I never put in the bottle emptier. Let's put that in. And cue that up again to be dug. I'm gonna sit here and watch just to make sure that somebody digs it out before the Sweetle goes over. Alright, we're gonna see if that stops the Sweetle from coming out. I don't think it will. I think the Sweetle might be able to jump down here and then back up, because it can jump from here to there. I don't know how it does doing diagonal jumps like that. I know it can go up 2 blocks. And of course over the same amount. If I set that up to be auto-bottled, we'll take from the thing down there. What is 3,400 divided by 5? I feel like it's 680. It is 680. So if we keep this to being 5 tiles, as it is right now, this needs an even 680 per tile. Which is a little bit easier for us to figure out. Let's put this on a 6, because I want them to be putting water in here more than they're sweeping stuff up. Oh, that was polluted dirt. That whole time the polluted dirt could have been off-gassing in here. It didn't, but it could have. I'm surprised that it didn't, actually, now that I mention that. So this should get us 40 per tile? Yeah, it's 40 kilograms per tile. Alright, it looks like the Sweetle is stuck there, which is perfect, because as we dig this out, the Sweetle will drop down further. Eventually, they'll all get stuck over here, I think. Or on top of this. Which we are going to have to set up a way to get there. So let's do that now. We're going to need a ladder across here. We definitely need a ladder across this. I'm okay with them switching the ladders out for some of these. All of this isn't really needed anymore. And cue this up to be all dug out, because we don't need that anymore. There's a hatch. I'm going to cue them up to be killed. Because they're just going to keep eating stuff I don't want them to eat. And we can tell them to deconstruct all of that. And then they can't reach all this, so I'm going to do it 2 tiles at a time. Make sure they can reach it all. And I guess over here we'll do 4. Ah, you did something I didn't want you to do. Because I accidentally miscounted. I have a feeling I just did something that's going to make a lot of things get deconstructed. But it didn't. Awesome. Okay, now I can re-queue that to be deconstructed, although it never was unqueued. That gets all of that. Get rid of that. We can get rid of this buffer and make sure that no water got in. How much do we have up here? 240? See, they don't take too long when there's nothing else for them to do. And then I think, so that we can still get into the iron volcano over here, we're going to first put a ladder up there so we can get up to this top part if needed. And then this ladder, we're going to continue all the way up to here. We're just going to need this deconstructed. Then we can get rid of that. We can get rid of this ladder. No longer need that. And then a lot of the ladders that are all in here are going to be deconstructed over time. Let's do the next set of big commands going over to the right. Of course, canceling the plants. And also deconstructing those. And I do see some shenanigans going on over here. Let's do all that and that. I just wanted to make sure the ladder was the only thing there. Cue that wire to be dug up. That was a previous gravitas building. And I'm thinking about keeping the hot tub here, but getting rid of everything else. I'm not too sure yet. We'll figure that out when we get to it. For right now, I'm waiting for them to dig all this out. I should be able to get everything from this layer. Nothing in there that I want. Let's go to Baldrinus. And it looks like that's going to keep having polluted dirt. I know for a fact that we moved polluted dirt out of it. So let's queue up them going back to the destination, which is right here. And Redneck, not Slicky, Redneck has rolled number 13 for the mug. I will do that right after I send them into space. So let's begin the launch sequence, because I want to make sure that we get their suits off before I forget. So I feel like if I queue this up, pause before they go off, and then come back to the mug, I'll forget to tell them to take off their suits. We really just want Gino to take off his suit. We don't really need the pilot to take off his suit. We can do for both of them. There we go. Now I can actually hear it. And just like that, there's an autosave. So if anything happens, we come back to this autosave and we send them immediately back down. This is cycle 1865. Hopefully I can remember that number later on. So in here, no matter what they're doing, we can tell them to unequip. Definitely going to do that for both, so that they keep the oxygen inside the suits for when Gino has to build the rocket platform. With got a bee humming in your mic. That is my neighbor cutting their grass. My windows are open because it's going to be in the low 30s in my area. 30s in Celsius. Should get up to 80 in Fahrenheit. Let me go get that number. What was it? 13. That's on the top. So, they are ready. They won't go out of the rocket when they get to the other planet because they can't land on it. So we don't have to worry about them getting out and not having their suits on. I forgot the number there, the magic number. The magic number is 680. We are at, I think, 550? 560. So we need 3 more bottles. If my math is correct, which it probably isn't. Now that this is broken up over here, let's do this by itself. Cancel that. Of course, deconstruct that. We'll set this back on the buildings only. And let's put in this here. I'm going to then make sure they deconstruct all automation, all power. Those should be the only 2 things that are in the background of this. And from what I can tell, they can reach everything. That is a lot of copper that we're getting. A lot of refined copper. Not even doing the puzzle? What do you mean? Oh, the puzzle in here. No, it was already unlocked. We were already able to get in here because we have the data bank. And I think that is the last bottle that we need. So, you know what? Before I deconstruct it, let me do the math again. 30 plus 4. 3,400, like I said. Divided by 5 is 680. We have 680 in almost all of them, except for this one, which has 0.1 less. But this one has 0.1 more, so there is 680 in all of them. That is ready to be turned into steam. We then also need the steam turbines. We're going to need the aqua tuner inside here for us to cool the steam turbines. So let's start doing all of that. We don't need this to be made out of steel. We can make it out of iron, which ironically this volcano is going to be making for us. So we'll put that in. We need this taken out of here because I want to put the aqua tuner right here. We can put in the pipes now, however. So the way that I like to do it is have the output of the steam turbines be the priority, and the cooling the secondary. Do I want to do a trifold here? I think I do. Oops, not that far. We want to go like this. This is insulated. That's canceled. That's going to be a bridge there. This goes up. It's going to be bridged down onto this. Make more sense later. This is actually, I think, a tile or two too far right. So this will come down. That's the temperature gauge. So it goes up like this. This comes out and up and goes to, whoops, goes to right there. Bridges only go down and to the left. Well, this one actually goes to the right. So that's all of that. We're going to need a bottle drainer, which will go here. This will make sense in a moment. We're going to make the pipe go to the right and then bridge it over to the left. And we can set all of that up with water before we even put the aqua tuner in. Now, another thing that I'm noticing is that we don't have a way for power to get in here. So that was an oversight on my part. Let's do the power for right here first, then no, we should do the power out here first, then vacuum it out. Let's do it that way. So this, right there, we're gonna need... power also goes to there. I think that's all of the power there. This can go over to here. Don't know how I'm going to connect this into the main power spine yet. But we're gonna need one wire up. That should tie into the correct spot. This goes straight up. And we want this here. We also manual generator and a battery so that we can run that pump. Is it a metal volcano or magma? It is a metal one, so I don't think I need 2 steam turbines. It's an iron volcano. I've never had an issue with having 2 steam turbines with iron volcanoes. I could have also just copied and pasted the one from our other asteroid. We also need the automation. That, I don't need it to be steel, but I like making it out of steel. Just because I want everything in a steam bath to be steel, even if it doesn't require it. And then this is thermal sensor, also out of steel because of that same reason. This doesn't have to be steel, although it's being made out of steel because that was the last time I made a pump. It was made out of steel. And for those who were in the ads, we need this pump here because we're going to rechange this into a power supplier, and it's going to introduce gas into this. Better safe than sorry. Use lead too often. That is another one of my fears, is that I will accidentally use lead. Luckily, there's no oil biome on this asteroid, so we would never have an issue for that. Now, I've never had an issue with a liquid vent melting in a steam bath, so that's one thing I'm not worried about. And this battery is going to be temporary because it's going to be connected into our power spine. We're making that out of iron. We should have enough plastic since we have 450 left over. They just have a lot of things to build. We could also queue up the aqua tuner, but I think I want to fill the pipe without the aqua tuner because it'll be easier this way. But I don't have to worry about if the aqua tuner's on. Okay, this. Water, enable auto bottle. I want that on a 6. Did I bridge it onto it? I did bridge it on, so if we fill it up, it won't continue filling. How low is this? This is actually somewhat lower than what the water started out with before we mopped up everything. And also this area is done, so let's mop that up. Should be able to grab everything. Yeah. Now there's only little bits of water here and there, like there's this little bit, a little bit behind the water geyser. There's a tiny amount in these 2 tiles. And then I don't think there's any liquid over on the right side. Which, by the way, rummage, inspect. Rummage, inspect. That's 2 more data banks we could throw into our other thing. Why is this not spinning around? Oh, we didn't do all the pipes. We just added the steel into this. This is the one thing I did want to make sure was steel. And then this shouldn't take too long to get emptied out because it's only 6 tiles. And I think it only put in 100 kilograms or 1 kilogram of oxygen. It's definitely not 100 kilograms. That is already a vacuum. So we can, once the autosave is done, we can deconstruct all of this again. And go into power, we don't need that. This is going to go right here, and we now need more steel over here, so let's send another large amount. What counts as a large amount? 25 kilograms does seem like a large amount for this. But we'll fill that up. This should be able to get fed, but we don't want people going in. I think they can supply to this without having to walk in here. I'm not sure. We haven't actually tested that. How can non-bill pipe not move liquid run? That makes perfect sense. Oh, this does say rockets in orbit. I was about to check to see where they are. So this... We first want to go inside and make sure that Gino has a suit. This was Gino's suit when he first got in here. I'm going to try to use the same one. Just to make sure they have the right amount. Let's make sure he puts it on, actually. And then we go into star map. We want to send Gino down here. We should have already sent the Rover's module. I don't think we stopped. Rover did die. Rover's going to stay there forever now. I want Gino to land here. Play. And immediately tell Gino to deconstruct that. We don't have anything to build ladders out of yet, but now we do. And this is going to be a rocket platform, so we want... Is there any metal on this planet? There's wolframite. This is the temple tear opener, so we're going to have to dig out chimney in a way. I'm pretty sure there's wolframite in here. I'm thinking of metal for poles, just to make it easier for them to get down the rocket, because we are going to send more rockets over here. This isn't going to be the only thing that we come over here for. I need a way for us to get rad bolts here other than just from the sun. Or also, should we... From what I know, the temple tear opener only needs rad bolts. It doesn't need an atmosphere, it doesn't need gases or liquids pumped into it. We could just completely dig out this top part of the asteroid and have this as the roof neutronium. We do have insulated doors, so we could put an insulated door within this neutronium patch here, just because it's the thickest amount and it'll take the longest to heat up. If anything, we could put a vacuum lock in here, so it's one insulated door and then another one over here, and it won't even transfer temperatures through. This is all future planning that we're not going to do right now. That's 7 tiles, so we're going to go every other, and I don't remember how tall our rocket is, so we're just going to keep going every other until that point. That seems excessive. We have that. Put the platform down. Gino, this is more important than the ladder. Because the moment we get that oxygen icon, actually, we're not getting the loading bar. So I don't know how much air is in his suit. Alright, Gino, we just need you to go all the way up. I should be able to count how tall this is. Also, this is ready. Lock that door. Sweep that up. Auto sweep will do that. Why are there... Okay, for a second I thought there was a puppet over here, but it was just the off-gassing fluid. Pick up that one tile. Over here. Don't think we need this ladder. We need up to that pole, which is... I think that's 28 tiles. That is 28 tiles, and somehow Gino got trapped. You're not trapped. You're stuck because you can't get home, but you're not trapped. So this is the bottom portion. We want 28 tiles going up. We are not at all as high as we need to be. That's 21, 3, 25, 27, but it should be 28 from here. It is not, so this ladder does need one more, and I think we have to go in one just for them to be able to get out of the rocket. This is going to be on a 4. We don't need them to do that yet. You know, we have a lot of... Uh-oh. Gino. Gino, I don't know how much oxygen's in your suit. Is there a way to see how much is in the suit? Red alert. Thank you, Red. Neck. Oh, that's not on all. No, no sleep. Gino. Gino, we need you to wake up. I know, no, Gino. I don't know if you have enough oxygen to sleep right now. Top left. I don't know what you mean. Oh, this one? Thank you. I forgot that button was there. Because we need that rocket to land so that Gino has somewhere to breathe. Okay, that's fine. Gino is probably gonna dig that out. I need Gino now to go somewhere where he's not gonna be overly heated up. So if I put Gino like way over here, and also tell the rocket to land. He should be out of the way before the rocket lands. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know if we have enough space. I don't think we have enough space. 37 tiles. I didn't check this first. We only have 30 tiles. So that rocket can't land here. That's probably why I remember putting the rocket over here. That's a vacuum. How many cycles were we here for? We could reset to before we landed Gino. And then just have him land over, then he has to dig out to get the steel. That's not too bad, actually. Where is 37 times? Are we gonna have a floating platform? No, it's, well, it's kind of floating. It would be right on top of the neutronium over here. Or abyssite, I mean. It would definitely take too long to put the ladders in over here, I think. Should be able to see. That's what I thought. It's on the do panel. I'm gonna sneeze. That time I caught it. It's probably in properties, but I'm checking status as well. Thank you, Red. I mean, it does say they're wearing an Atlas suit. Oxygen tank is 21.5 kilograms. Did I go through 8 kilograms a cycle? Or is it 0.8 kilograms? I forget. Easiest way to look at this is to go down to electrolyzer, which I could have done while looking at the other asteroid. This one electrolyzer can support 8 dupes plus an additional 0.88 of a dupe. So that means I go through 800 grams per second, not per cycle. So we need We need grams, not kilograms. How much? Because if he has enough that we don't have to reload, that'd be great. That is kilograms. Do the math. 21.5. We're just going to do 21,500 divided by 800. Oh. They breathe 100 per second. $215 seconds is not one cycle. That's maybe 2 minutes. I don't think you can deconstruct this, place it back down, and do the ladders within 2 minutes. Yeah, one cycle is 600 seconds. That I did know. And he definitely does have a third of a cycle, like you're saying. The question is, can he do the ladders along with the platform? He has improved, not the improved building, but he has a good building. Construction of 3, that's not too bad, or too good. He did build this pretty quickly, so I think he can definitely move it. You know what? We're gonna try, because we do have a lot of debris that's right here. We do have this mostly done, so we could probably make it. Instead of us putting ladders to get down here, what's the minimum amount of digging you have to do? Is that, I think. Deconstruct this. I also think I need to stop the rocket from trying to land, because it's not going to be able to. So of course, Gino, being the digger and the priority of digging, is going to do the abyssalite digging first. Then they're going to walk all the way over. I should probably also put in the 38 tiles, right? 28 tiles of ladders. So I need 14 ladders if I do this correctly. We'll start here. So that's going to be the second ladder. You should be able to jump up to that. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That should be 28 tiles, including the abyssalite right here. There is a Caterpie in chat. Now, I know I have it, but in case you are collecting all Gen 1, Caterpie is Gen 1. Let's make sure I did this right. That is 28. This one up here should be 28, including the abyssalite here. It is. Hopefully we can do all this. If Gino dies, we'll reload. Now, the ladders and the rocket platform are kind of both important right now, because even if we do the platform first and land the rocket, he's not going to be able to get into the rocket. Everything in here that's not... actually, there's a little bit of oxygen down here. Now you remember why you like shorter radboat rockets? Yeah, this is the main issue. We could have tried getting down here to the oxygen that's within the ice area, but I don't know if that's better or not. Let's take a look at Gino's suit. He went from 21.5 kilograms down to 3 kilograms very quickly. He's not building this platform and the ladders. Well, I'm not even gonna let it play out. How many cycles can I go back? I think I have this set up to going back 10 cycles, but it's only going to show us our main colony, so I don't know where I need to go back to. It also doesn't show us all 4 digits of the cycles. So this was the last cycle when we found out that he's not going to survive. Pretty sure he needed to sleep only once, which means that we'd have to go back one more cycle. Let's go back to this one, which may or may not be before he landed. If not, we're gonna have to go back another one, but going off of the time of each autosave, I can remember which one we're doing, because the one we're loading is at the top of the hour, or start of this hour. I'm also gonna finish off the mug. So Redneck, cheers again. That's right, this is the main colony. And then weird things happening on my phone off screen. Alright, that was right as we left off, or blasted off, so I think I want to go one cycle forward. Just to keep the stuff that we were building on the other asteroid. So we don't want to do the one that starts at the hour. We want to do the one 10 minutes later. Unless this does include Gino already landing. Actually, if Gino has already landed and then an autosave happened before we actually started building stuff, that also works. So long as the rocket platform was not built yet, we should be okay. So maybe this next autosave is the one that we actually want to do. We definitely, okay, we might want to go an additional, another one. We definitely do, because this is 1.3 cycles. So let's go another 10 minutes. So we want to do the one that was 10 minutes ago, actually. Which would have been... That's only 3 minutes difference. Weird, but okay. I know we don't want the newest autosave. That's true, Redneck. I didn't think of that. But the autosave is synced due to the cycle, not how long I played. Alright, Gino did not land. It's also autosaved before we even signed him up to land. So let's make sure he has a suit on. Think he was going to get the suit? No, he wasn't. Gino, put your suit on. And get ready for your first landing of this asteroid, because we definitely did not land once already. Now, I'm going to deploy him over here. And I'm also... Why am I stuck on this? I'm also going to queue up the ladder system over here. So we put 3 in there. It's 100% not an alter timeline. I don't know why you're talking about alter timelines. There was no other timeline. Gino never almost died. No, he's probably gonna run over here, dig this up, then run back, deconstruct that, and then come back here. I could have set the deconstruct to a higher priority, but I wasn't worried about it. Yeah, it did happen twice, because of the last stream. Alright, this goes here. Then I need to count the ladders again. So we're counting from here. But I feel like I put this in the wrong spot. I need 37 tiles? Yes, that is in the right spot, so I didn't put it down too low. So that would be a ladder. This would be that. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That should now be 28 tiles from the bottom of the rocket platform. It is. That's what we need. I don't know what Gino just did. He walked all the way over here for no reason. And now is walking back. Luckily, we know he's not gonna die. But that was... Why did I do that? There was no purpose to go all the way over here. I know in terms of how the game processes things, each asteroid that's on the map is literally right next to each other. Like, every asteroid is touching. We just don't get to see it or process it until we're on that asteroid. So maybe he was trying to get to an asteroid right here. And the game had to tell him, no. Probably one of his... Rover was over here on the left! He walked all the way over to the right. I don't know. Weird Ani shenanigans. The other rovers. There's only one. Now, like I said, we are going to dig this out completely, so... After... Actually, we do need one more ladder, I think. Because I'm pretty sure the spacefarer module is 2 tiles over from the ladder. I don't think it's right here. I think it's right here. So we need 1 extra ladder. Hopefully that doesn't prevent the rocket from landing. Because I know occasionally, sometimes you'll build something and it won't let land. Why are you only doing 1 ladder at a time? You can see 2 ladders. You can pick up more than 2 ladders worth. Why not lower the fare on landing so you need less ladders? Because I didn't think of that. I think I put it up that high because it's above the fuel tanks and the oxidizer, and it just seemed like the correct place to put it. Could also be leftover residual stuff from when we were doing Kerbal Space Program. Gino, do not go to sleep. You're staying awake. We've been through this. I mean, we know he has enough oxygen now, but this is more important. You can go to sleep once we know you can survive. So this is now the actual 1869 cycle. Have you seen the ones that glitch it under the engine so you don't... Wait, what? I have never seen a spacefarer module underneath a rocket engine. I didn't even know that was physically possible. Like, with a glitch or not, I didn't know that was possible to do. I wonder if digging this out would be more beneficial, so he doesn't have to run as far. I mean, he still has to run all the way up here. It requires some dark magic that I don't know the exact how, but it's a thing. Huh. I might have to look that up, see how he does it. Yeah, and we all knew that they were gonna soil... Suffocating. Because you had to walk further. We are going to land the rocket now. Just so that if he only needs to do 1 ladder, he should be fine. He did grab... No! No! He died! The rocket's here! He died! So guess what, chat? We're gonna run this back. We're gonna dig up these tiles to make it easier to do the ladders. We know it's the 11-13 one. The ladders are definitely too high. I 100% blame coded as well. I can do this. I've done it previously, although I think the last time I did it with 2 different rovers. But the rovers can't build or can't dig the stone. But if I had a rover, that would be 2 different people building the ladders. Let's go back to Chilio. So on top of him digging that, I want him to dig this as well, but that's going to take away ladder, which should be fine if I place the ladder down. Let's try this one more time. We need to first go inside and make sure he puts the suit on. And I think this time I might do a hard save after he lands. That way we don't have to keep starting from here. So I would put this lander over here just so he doesn't bring the steel over, but there's already steel here, so it's not really going to benefit him. So let's have him land. He is now out of the rocket. I am going to load that up to be deconstructed. We're going to set everything up to be done. Load it. Do a hard save. And now it's a race to make sure he stays alive. So we need at least 1 ladder here. Even if he was to come down here and block himself in, he has the granite there to build us in again. Okay, with the rocket goes here. Ladders. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm gonna cancel this. Have fun looking, redneck. And I want to make sure that this is a higher priority build. Because we can land the rocket before he starts doing the ladder, since he's gonna have to walk away. Don't do the granite. Thank you. No, he did do a little bit of extra digging, so we may have less time to do the ladders, but hopefully it's okay. Once that platform is done, I'm gonna pause and land the next rocket. That should land before he gets back. I was apparently wrong. I know he's in a suit, so he won't have that much of damage due to heat. But I still didn't want him overheating. And I'm pretty sure these granite ladders are going to break over time. I went up too high. Okay, and we also don't need that extra ladder, so let's... We could have survived. Okay. That's always great to see. So now Gina should be taken from right here, which he is. If I move him, will he then pick up 200? Yes! Okay, that's another way to get past this 100 kilogram at a time. Because he's only able to see what he can reach before he does the ladder, so you can't tell that he can reach this one yet. He can't reach all three, so even if he gets 100... Well, he actually grabbed two, so he's doing both ladders. But either way, he won't be able to reach this. And I don't think they can get down from here. If you can get back in the rocket. Which, speaking of getting in the rocket, we want to make sure that you have this on so that you can survive outside the colony. And then sweep all that up. Why are you living in your pee? Gina should be able to get back in after that ladder's there. Let's check the inside of the rocket. Does have a lot of food. They have basic rat pills. You are doing extra space exploration. So you're going out another tile to about here. So there's like 6 tiles that he has to go through. I'm gonna let Gino mop up the pea water here. Oh, you're not gonna be able to get stuff out of that. We need to not have this grounded while we're here. Because you're not able to use the restroom or grab the food. I do want Gino to take off the suit because I think that's gonna drop more polluted water. Doesn't look like it dropped more polluted water. So let's get Gina back into a suit. And now we need to get into here, really. While we can survive out here. Let's do all that, and because I don't like this floating, although it's not going to matter in the future. Now, we came over here for the sleet wheat. We really just need 1 grain, and we're good to go home. But I think what I'll do is just start digging this out until we get down to that abyssalate. Just because we can survive now. And if anything, we will just have to go home and come back with more food. Let's check on Persephone. Because this is now done, so let's deconstruct the pipe there. This needs to be set to 25, because that's what I like having it set to. And we can deconstruct the bottle emptier, we can deconstruct the pipes. This was done, and we just never deconstructed it. I am also deconstructing everything. Set that back to buildings. No, 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 no. And the pipes. Okay, that should be everything. The bridge is taken care of, so we can throw in our aqua tuner now. Which for some reason we have enough steel for. Oh, that's right, because of the vent, and because we didn't place this in yet. So I can't make that yet. And that would be because we didn't set this up, or we didn't send it over yet. We didn't set this up yet. So I'll have steel in there. Somebody got trapped. You're not trapped. That's weird. Why go back over here? Oh, you're doing weird shenanigans, I see. We could build this in just to have it the same spot, but we are going to be lowering this rocket down, I guess, all the way down into here at some point. Now we do have a little bit of water and salt water that we could process, along with a little bit of polluted water. This would all be great for making a small spam. We could also make a place to heat up ice. We got a lot of things. Alright, back to Persephone. There's a bunch of extra water over here because we destroyed the one pipe. So we'll mop all that up. We still don't have the steel over here yet, so let's go back to Wadado. This is ready, so let's flick that off, empty that out, sweep it up. With that little bit now being over here, we can tie this into that. And then we need to get the power all the way over here. This ladder is going to go away, so we're going to take the power all the way across, up and in. And that will tie in the aqua tuner. And I also put the power on the wrong spot. I thought it was the bottom left, it's actually the bottom right. Luckily, it's an easy fix. Let's tell them to sweep up all of this. And I kind of want the aqua tuner to kick on before these do. How's Chiliol? Chiliol's doing great. This has all the steel put over, so we can flip this back on. Go back to Persephone. The aqua tuner is now on, and the water is already dropping quite a bit. So it's already to the point where the aqua tuner is now turned off. We can go in here. Dig out all of that. Chiliol. Gino did a wonderful job of digging all that out. Now, something I do want to keep is all of this liquid, so I need to find a way to get in here that allows me to release the water further down as I dig in, which I see right here. Now that is sand. So I think I want to put a ladder right there, just because we're going to be going underneath it and digging to the left. So we are going to try to get all the way down here to get this food. And I think from this point I should just put ladders, honestly. That'll put the salt water in here with the extra water and the other salt water. That's fine. This ladder's going to get deconstructed as we dig the next layer out of here. And the majority of this carbon dioxide is just going to go into the vacuum of space. And with us being able to see where this is going to land, we have 7 tiles here. 7 tiles is to right there, so I could either put it against the neutronium, or I can move it over one more and have it against the abyssalite, 1 tile away from neutronium. Either way, we're going to be using the ladders at the spacefarer module height to get up to here. Which is either going to be right through here underneath the temporal tear opener, or it's going to be using that room to get in. Because that is a bunch of lead that we could use. Now I'm going to inspect this and also queue it up to be rummaged. That'll give us a little extra food for us to use. Somehow this amount of salt water is not enough to push that water out of the way. Oh, it's because there was too much water. Okay. So it's doing weird Ani shenanigans, but that's just the water's moving around. This should be a vacuum, it is. Yeah, let's pause, check on cephalin. They got into the iron volcano. Let's just pick up all of that except for the iron. And queue this up to be analyzed. We do have a researcher here. And then we can also queue this up to be dug out. All the way over to there, of course, canceling all of the plants. And we also need to add in our next sets of ladders. And I think only one right there. And then, of course, deconstructing the ones we're not going to be using. Small town stuff, you're doing a wonderful job with that. Looks like we didn't rummage through this yet. That's fine. I'm gonna submit bioscan to this. So now we can see the temporal terror opener, and as I expected, it only needs rad bolts. We do get a decent amount of rads per cycle, 250. This takes a large amount, takes 1,000. So if we just did 250 rads from the radiation of space, would we only need 2 rad bolt generators? Not 2. We would need 4, right? It takes a moment for them to occur the amount of rads that they need to send, but I'm pretty sure this would do enough. It doesn't say how much rads it produces per second, though. It does take quite a bit of power, so we would need to power it up this entire time. Collective will gradually decay while this building is disabled. We don't have to worry about that. We could just do 1 rad bolt generator to not have to power so much. Because I'm pretty sure 1 rad bolt generator is more than a dupe powered generator. This creates 400 watts. The rad bolt generator is 480. We would need 2 dupes running. Just for a continuous power source. We could tie it into this, but we're also not getting power from the solar panel. So I don't know. I think we would be better off creating a livable area and then worrying about the generator. Which I think will incorporate the temple terror opener in our small area here. So we'd have beds, toilet, obviously a power station, which would be powered by the spawn. I don't know how much power we'd be getting from the spawn. This will take quite a while for us to build up, but we don't have to build it for a sustainable living space. Nobody's coming out of the rocket because I did not queue up the next thing. So let's go straight through there, get all that viscillite out of here, and deconstruct that ladder. Since the other guy doesn't have anything to do, no, we're not going to do that because we're going to be digging downwards more. So if I were to keep the rocket platform where it is, it would hit the abyssal lake. So we want to move the ladder over 2 and continue it all the way down to here. So let's go to there. I'm gonna queue up the ladders over here. If this is the bottom, that's going to be all dug out. Where is the actual space for module compared to the bottom of the rocket? 22 tiles up. So if we go up 22 tiles from right here, Spacefarer module is actually going to be right here. So we would want all of that to be ladders. But we actually don't need all of that to be ladders because that's going to the bottom of the rocket platform. We could, in fact, cancel it right there. But I do want to dig all this out, so we should also have the ladders going down anyway. Now they are able to get in here and start building that. I don't think they're going to prioritize doing that anytime soon. We're leaving Rover up here, by the way. How much food do they have in here? Quite a bit. And they do, or they should have... Oh, they didn't rummage through this yet. I want to put that on 6. That is non-spoilable food. Cephalin. This is getting researched. They're doing great. Bunch of water over here for some reason. That's probably in a pocket or from the steam vent. That came all the way down here, which got to there, which got to here, which got to there. I also did just realize we are 2 hours in and we never did a prediction. So let's do our first prediction of today, and then at about 45 minutes, we'll do the second prediction. And then within the next 45 minutes after that, which should be the 3.5 hour mark, we will do our third prediction. So in the top left corner, we have this blueprint button. Is it going to give us tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or a piece of wallpaper? You guys have 10 minutes to decide and put as many points as you want into it. And then we will do that at about the 45-minute mark from right now. Let's do a little bit more digging. Keeping in mind that this is the background plan for what we're doing on stream. Need those ladders just to get over. We're going to be deconstructing all of this except for the neural vesilator. Go back to Chiliol, not the rocket. Actually, is there liquid in the rocket? No, there's just the bottles. We are making a small amount of power, but I think the pump is preventing it from actually powering the battery. So we have extra power, but we don't. I'm not entirely sure why they're not doing the granite. Did we run out of granite that's reachable? This will tell us if we have granite reachable. Yes, we do. Okay, so maybe they were sleeping. Kinda want them to do one of these two ladders here. Because then I can start deconstructing this. And they should be able to deconstruct the entire thing from these two ladders. No, not yet. Hold on. I need them to build one of the ladders in this area. There we go. Now they can deconstruct the entire ladder line there. Could I have you build this before deconstructing the other stuff? Okay, Gino is eating, that's fine. Is the next stick command? Yeah, the next stick command's gonna open up the temporal tear opener. We are gonna be digging the tile that the rocket platform is above, though. If we had moved the rocket platform down one more, we would have been in line with our dig command. But it's alright that we're not. It's not gonna do anything. Actually, we do need to put ladders. We're digging that out, so let's do that. We might as well just continue all the way down our ladder line here. And we are going to have all of the liquids in here, so we're going to have to find a way to get the liquids out of there before we move the rocket platform down there. That's going to take a little bit of pumping. I'm gonna guess that some of this is space exposure. It's actually not. That is the top of this area over here. Nothing says space exposure behind it. So we just have to worry about things going to the right. But all of this area is safe for any liquids to fall down. How can I change this rocket to be a item bringing rocket? We could just put in another box right here and try to fill it up with as much stuff as we can. Would I need steel? Probably not. Actually, we would, because we need an aqua tuner for cooling down the spawn. Actually, how cold are the liquids here? 21 and 17. Over here is 20. We could just send the liquid from the spawn into here and back out. Use this as a natural spawn chiller. We'll probably do that, because the spawn's not going to be used non-stop. I do have to try and think about how we're going to build this room. I kind of want to keep how the building is here. They did not... Oh, they probably can't rummage it because there's no tile underneath it. Weird shenanigans like that would prevent the dupes from seeing that it's a thing they can do. The inspection is just a button click, but the rummage is a thing they need a platform to stand on. So now they should be able to rummage through the vending machine. Whether or not they do it, I don't know, but they should be able to. And let's put a dispenser. That needs metal ore. We would need wolframite for that. Let's just do a storage bin down here then. Building melted. Plastic ladder. Oh, another ladder over here melted. Does that mean we have naphtha down the line? I mean, it didn't get placed in, so I don't know. Could I set up some automation up here? Not for those doors. I wanted to set up automation for me to click on a switch so I could open these up and just vent out the gas. I guess what I could do is just tell them to open this. I want to vent out the hot gas that's up here. That's probably getting heated up by this piece of debris. Oh, they probably can't reach it. Let's do that. Chilio, how are they doing? They didn't do the bin yet, but they're getting to it. Can I actually have this on a 6, please, so they do that first. I could care less about the water. Okay, this is going to be sweep only and all, so that I can get things off of neutronium. And I want this on a 6. We're definitely gonna have to go back home to pick up some metals and refined metal. Okay, we definitely are venting out the gas. We got the debris, so this should be cooling down. Does seem like it, but I don't know yet. And they complain about being trapped, but I don't see a way for a dupe to be trapped. I think it's time for us to dig out the right side of the asteroid. I would want these to be dug out. I did want to get rid of the abyssalite. So we'll send all the way over to here. Cancel this. Our prediction is ready. We have 10 points in buildings. So let's do the prediction, and right afterwards we're going to take a quick restroom break. So, top left corner up here. Well, first we have 800 calories. I think that's just the nutrient bars. That does not include the food that's in here, which is 21 cycles of food. But anyway, this pod, we have 10 points in buildings. We should see 40 every time we open this because we should be getting 3 today. And it is a wallpaper, a solid pink wallpaper, a bold statement for bold duplicates. So unfortunately, I'm stealing your 10 points, but you will have a chance in about 30 minutes and a half hour to win those points back. So I'm going to keep the game running on this scene, but for those who are on YouTube, you are not going to be able to see this because we're going to go into our beer back scene. And we're back. So it looks like they did pretty well with the amount of abyssalite that they have to mine through. I think we will keep sending all the liquids down here. I do want to deconstruct most of the stuff that's in here. So if I tell them to deconstruct all background buildings, I'm going to tell them to deconstruct all the tiles and stuff. Nobody can be here to demolish that light, so we'll leave the light. Well, so is there like an inspect? No, there isn't. We want to take this data bank into the rocket. We also want to move the food into the rocket. How is the oxygen in here doing? We have a little bit of polluted oxygen, that's fine. The pump, on the other hand, I forgot that the whole reason why the pump was on the floor previously is because the carbon dioxide sits on the floor. Which means that this really isn't vacuuming out the carbon dioxide. This will slowly fill up. So, I'm gonna need a few ladders in here to reach everything. If I do those two, that should be it. I want this to be on buildings. I want to get rid of all the metal as well. Not that, though. I'm going to keep the shape of the building here, but I'm not going to keep the tiles that everything is made out of. So this is actually going to have to be canceled and then moved like this so we can reach the metal tiles. Gina, I need you to focus on digging this out now. With that being there, where do we want the door to be? I guess we'll go out to here. That says duplicate operation required, but it's just a building command. Don't know what's going on with that. Now we can also make this a floating rocket platform. They don't need to be on something in order for it to function as a building. That also looks like a face. Looks like a sad face or an angry face. Eye there and an eye here. I don't know if anyone else sees that. And there was hydrogen somewhere, because now the hydrogen's out. I guess the hydrogen was in here. They did not do the move commands, so let's change the priority of them. And then what's the star map look like? So we want one extra tile down here. Up here it looks fine, that looks normal. Down here, probably be worth figuring out what that is. That could be another planet, I don't remember if that is one or not. I know those are two asteroids because they're too close together. I think we might try and do a rectangle base. Rather than a square like our main building, our main asteroid. Is this on a higher priority? It is on a higher priority. So they should be prioritizing sweeping over the building and deconstructing. It only takes one dupe to do that, though. That's awesome. Let's get rid of all of that. That should be some of the last bits of abyssalite. Might be able to get him to dig that before that tile gets taken away. Nice, we can. Oh, we don't have any metal for the door either, do we? No, we need wolframite for that. We do have a big chunk right here, but I don't think I want to dig through that yet. There is a lot of sleetweed in here. Luckily, none of it is able to go bad because it's in a deep freezer. So no matter how... Actually, that says fresh for 81%, but it is in deep freeze. So it looks like maybe it went stale a little bit. Alright, so I'm thinking we put tiles here. That we put insulated tiles above it. There is a Paris in chat. That is a Gen 1 Pokemon that I don't know if we had before. But we did. And then we're gonna need ladders. That should be enough to get everything else. And the next floor leads us to the pinch row. bookshelf. Let's also get all this, because that is very close to the ladder. That might actually give us some metal. Why can't we use lead for the doors? Hold on. What? Why does that have to be metal ore? They're all metal ore, unless it's steel. That would make sense. Let's see how much food we have left. 73,000. I don't know what half of that is, but that's how many cycles we have. Like 36 maybe? 37? I think I really should bring over the entire rocket from the second asteroid, with all the builders and stuff in it. We would need a lot of food with us, though. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that right away. Let's do some more digging here. And some more deconstructing. Making sure not to demolish that. Awesome. It looks like we need some ladders in certain places here. And also get rid of all this. And we need to be able to build up to here to get rid of this. I'm also going to queue up the next line. Because that is reachable from here and from in there. So they should be able to get everything, especially because there's ladders right there. I don't think we will need ladders anywhere for this section. I don't want to dig that out. We do have a hatch right here, so let's attack the hatch. We also have another hatch I just saw dig into the ground. Okay, good. They can get everything. How's this doing? I mean, they're not doing bad. And if I were to go down another two, then this can be normal tiles rather than it being insulated because of the abyssalite being underneath it. And I have no idea what they're going to choose to build first. What's the oxalate bin look like in here? Not too bad. We have a little bit of carbon dioxide, but it looks like it is being sucked up occasionally. For a second I thought they were deconstructing that central tear. I got worried. Okay, they should be at the point where they're building instead of deconstructing. Alright, I am definitely going to send them back home. Actually, let's not send them home. Let's send them all the way over here so I can drop off Gino. We'll take 8 out of our 15 remaining tiles, and then it should only be 1 tile to get home. If not 2. So we have way more than enough. Landers are ready. Oh, we don't have 2 rocket platforms over here? Oh, we have 2 rocket platforms. What does it mean by lander? This lander? Trailblazer module, maybe? We could ignore that. We'll come back to finish this. This is going to heat up a lot of the water in here, unfortunately. I actually didn't inject much heat into the water right away. And this heat should dissipate over time because it's getting vented into the vacuum of space. The heat's already gone, from that area at least. This is mostly heated up because this area is hot. The saltwater biome is a hot biome. And this is now all being cooled down. These tiles are going to slowly break. They should be able to make it through another landing, maybe 2 landings. Not sure. Star map. 3, almost 4 cycles. You have more than enough food to get there. So now we get to just worry about this colony. And how we're getting through everything. So, next up on the dig command is going across here. We left some debris up here. Let's cancel all that then. Sweep all that. Did I leave any over here? I did. That is stuff from this newest dig. This infectious polluted oxygen vent, I think we might just box over. So if we do something like that, dig into here and start analyzing this. We do not want someone to get stuck in here, so it's great that they did that. And now we're gonna vacuum up this stuff. Okay, we have that taken care of, so let's deconstruct those. Now, where am I gonna need ladders for the next section? This is the fourth there, so we need ladders in here as well. All the way up to the abyssalite, or the neutronium. And then hopefully we don't get the slime lung from this, otherwise we're gonna have some sick dupes when they run out of air outside here. The oxalate already went down one tile over here. So this is doing good over time. They already dug out everything over here. That's pretty fast. Let's sweep up that stuff. Iron's doing fine. I don't think there's anything else that was meant for them to do other than dig out the next area over here, which actually connects all the way over. So I'm gonna pause because there's a lot of stuff I don't want them to dig. We're gonna cancel all of this. Force the plants. And I also want them to deconstruct all of this. That is going to cause quite a bit of an issue getting across from each place, so let's do the ladders next. We only need one ladder right here to get these two tiles. Don't need any ladders there, do need ladders here. And the rest is history. This is gonna be a weird thing to dig out later on. Let's actually do two ladder system there. I don't know how they're gonna dig this out, but if we need to, we'll put a ladder in there to save a dupe that gets stuck. I don't think we're gonna have any issues. You just got yourself stuck there, Willow. Now you have to dig yourself out. Or maybe not. Why is that prevented from over here? Oh, because we did this. That makes sense. I'm gonna put a ladder right here then. How are they doing over here? They went down, I think, one cycle. Sophie's doing some weird dig priorities. I'm guessing it was to whatever was closest to this ladder is what they dug first. Ooh, this rocket. It's going to be fitted for... transporting all the debris and stuff. We're gonna have to change this rocket up. Alright, it is time for our second prediction. So in the top left corner is that blue little button going to give us a top, bottom, building, decoration, or wallpaper. The last thing we got was a wallpaper. You guys have 10 minutes to decide starting now. We will do that prediction at the start of the next hour, which will be about 5 minutes after the prediction's done. And then our last one will be within 30 minutes after that. Hopefully Willow does not go further. Okay, Willow's done there. Oh, we just had some oxalite disappear. So now we got even more room to dig out. Pretty soon, every single oxalite piece is going to be available. And they just got stuck on that ladder in a very weird manner. Hey, one of my orders is going to be here soon. So I will have to take a break in a little bit just to go pick it up from outside on the porch. Let's continue digging this way then while we wait for the rocket to come back. Of course, doing the usual cancel of digging up plants. You guys are gonna get yourselves stuck if this does not already count as being stuck. And now Camille is definitely 100% stuck with Papa Rasputin. Alright, they dug that out. Let's continue them going to the left now. First, I'm going to pause because I don't want them to dig out the oxalate. And of course, any of the plants. Should be everything. And we can deconstruct all of those ladders, all of this stuff. So there, at least we want ladders going up to the oxalate, I think. So I'm gonna want a ladder here and there. I did have a little bit of debris that didn't get picked up. So we picked up everything. And it didn't deconstruct those, that's weird. Oh, we got another hatch. I don't think we've done a regular pot in a while. Get the mallow seeds. Don't need any of the 3 dupe options. What kind of gases are all being mixed over here? Polluted oxygen, that's normal. The hydrogen is slowly getting stuck up here. It's really just little pockets of carbon dioxide mixed with the other stuff. And I'm thinking about making this a little bit more flat just to keep the gases out of here. So if I start building that up, we'll build up to the height of the bedroom. As we dig out more tiles, we're giving more space for this oxalate to off-gas into. We could dig it and put it into our rocket, but we lose half of the weight. So for this example, we'd only get 100, or we get 55 kilograms of oxalate from the tile that we're currently looking at. That's not a lot. Really won't do much for us. Oh, we got our second rocket landing. Alright, so select crew. You're gonna have Gino. Over here, it should be just dupe. And we're gonna select destination. We're gonna send you straight home. Knowledge warnings. Begin launch sequence. We truly only came here to drop off Gino. Oh, did we ever finish moving all the stuff from the dropper over here? We did not. There's a sweet egg that's still over here. which can go into here. It looks like eggs do fall through. And then we also have another Atmos suit. Should be over here as well. I'm actually going to set the relocate as a 7. Same thing as this one. Then we also need to queue up what we're sweeping up next. Oh, all the water's gone. Alright, let's get water from here and this entire area. This still has quite a bit, so we're going to let that drain out. It actually doesn't have a lot. And we did get a little bit of liquid naphtha that got mixed in. New planetoid detected. How in the world did we get this? Well, that's what our lava planet. There is a niobium volcano in there. There's also a niobium biome, which is mixed in with the magma. Welcome in, Dotterly. Mr. 9K, what is that? What do you mean? Ah, 9K what? Oh, 9,000. Let's take a look at niobium. Niobium turns into molten niobium. That it also gets combined with tungsten into thermium, which can then be turned back into niobium. Tungsten is... How do you create tungsten? Isn't there a way to refine? Yeah, it's wolframite. Okay. White creates tungsten, and then if we go back, thermium is used for what? It can be further processed into plastium, but thermium is used as a metal ore, refined metal. I guess it's a good replacement for aluminum. Just not show me the thing that I want to see it. It's a very high melting point. I guess it is better than aluminum. I don't really know the number differences, but it does say heat transfer, so it's probably it's definitely better than aluminum. Let's see what I'm trying to look at, but I can't do that and look at this. It's okay. High thermoconductive. Okay, that's not what I was thinking it was. Anyway, make sure that this is getting mopped up. Bold Uranus is back here at home. We're gonna set this to being grounded while it's here. I think the rest is fine. Cephalin, how are we doing over here? We are gonna have to take a break in a way from the colonies because we're gonna have a 7-cycle trip back to the other asteroids. What are you doing? Are you putting stuff in here? You are, because there's not enough food in here for everyone. Okay, we're gonna have to send everyone home before we send everyone back to Chiliol to do the quick build of the asteroid. So let's first change up the interior in here. I kind of want to just copy what the other one looks like, but without this. But this is going to be the massive rocket. So there's not going to be a bed. We don't need a bedroom. We could make this a large mess room in this one. Let's move it around. We're going to slowly fix up this rocket. So this needs the thing first. We deconstruct that as well. This is going to be a slow build because we have to move the pump up before we can do anything else. That's going to give us the most room. Do I have that tile there in the other one? I don't, but I could keep it there. Actually, no, I can't, because that's going to prevent us from having the room. Whenever the autosave stops, there we go. This back up. I want the bathroom. Where is it? Over here. And then we want to change up the tiles here. Like that. Alright, it is now the start of the 3rd hour of streaming, so we're going to do our second prediction. We have another 10 points in buildings, nothing else in anything else. So hopefully you get your building. Again, we're at 40, so we got another point. And it is another wallpaper. We got 2 wallpapers in a row. Unfortunately, did not win. We'll do the 3rd and final prediction in a half hour. And then we will open it at the end of the stream. Do I want that there? Hold on. No. Okay. We are going to put the bin back here. The pump, I think, goes into that little cubby hole. It does. And we move the sensor over. This goes up there. We get rid of that. We move this to there. We deconstruct that. This gets moved over. This gets moved over. Get rid of that. Automation, doesn't matter what it's being made out of. I think we kept the pipes where they were. I don't think we moved the pipes. We did move the pipes. But I don't think it matters. Other than for looks. So that goes straight down into a door. We also need to power it. This gets deconstructed. So does all of those. That's not what I wanted. I want this to be oxalite on a 7. We also want to put the rocket thing back in. This needs to be on oxygen. And ground that. The crew says it's all still here. We don't want Mima. We don't want Camille. Oh yeah, decree's all correct. Then we can put the door back in here. The next door goes right there, okay. That's not what I wanted. This is where the door's gonna go. We have 3 ladders right here. Yep, 3 ladders at the door. Keep pressing the wrong buttons. This can all go, I think. That one tile stays there. These can go, though. That's priority. No, that was deconstruct. It just did weird shenanigans. I need that refrigerator destroyed before I can place in the door that goes right there. And then I'm guessing it's 3 tiles there, right? It is not. It's only 1 tile. Because we have party line phone there. So it should be like this. I think that's how the thing is all built. Aside from missing all the buildings. Yes, we're going to sweep up all that and start the next research. Will be Red Bolt storage. Or no, that's Diamond Press. Which will use the databanks that are right here, 28 of them. And then this should be the same as the other rocket. Oh, it needs 1 more tile to make this a bathroom. Actually, it is a washroom now. We'll just be cutting out a lot of stuff. If I put all the dupes down here, they wouldn't have enough room. We could though. Just means that 1 person won't be eating with the rest. If I do that, and then we grab... Where is it? Oh, we're in furniture. Right, I didn't see the party light phone. It's right there. Don't want it right there. I do want it powered. How many dupes go in this rocket? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, there's only 5? Oh yeah, there is. There's 7 on this asteroid. I know it just went down to 6, but that's because 1 person went in. So we are going to be able to have everyone eating together. Okay. Furniture, arrow pot, we'll put this back right there so that this can turn into a Great Hall? 1 decor building, 1 recreation building. Yeah, it's going to be a Great Hall. And that's going to have the Joyous Seed again. Which we apparently have 4 of. This should be a Great Hall. I don't think we have a large enough area. This is 19. It needs to be 32 for a Great Hall. We'll still keep the Joyous Seed there. And we could turn this into a bedroom, but not everyone's going to be able to sleep in here. Actually, if I find a way, I could move this up a tile and have 4 tiles here for bunk beds. I think I see the way to do it. It's going to start by us deconstructing all of that again. We're going to turn this into a door. because they'll be able to jump up in here, then they'll be able to jump up and over and then down. And I'm going to queue this up to be there. Okay, that should allow us put 2 ladder beds here and here. We're not going to have enough for the 5th dupe, though. Unless we find another way to fit another ladder, or another thing in here. I could move this door over one. Put the ladder here instead of right here. And then we'll have this area for the next bed. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move this over. Deconstruct all that. And then we're gonna just put a regular bed, actually. That should still be grounded. The next issue is I don't have anywhere for food. So we are going to put food bin once I remember what I'm looking for. There we go, refrigerator. Put that there. I don't have a place for rad pills though. This doesn't need the party line phone for it to be the building that it's trying to be. This is gonna be edible. Pickled meal. Not gonna be at 100, it's gonna be 50, it's gonna be on a 7. I think this is fine. Aside from not having a space for rat bills. We could switch this out for the refrigerator with the pickled meal and have this as the rat pill one. I think we are going to do that. We'll get rid of the party line phone. We don't really need it for this to be a great haul. It's not like we're going to miss out on anything. So instead of that being 50 of those, let's change it to be 50 of these. And then this is almost done. A lot of our oxalite did get taken out already. So if we were to build like that, we might be able to see everything. If I deconstruct this, should be able to build up and over and get over there. Let's also deconstruct that. And deconstruct this. And deconstruct this. All of that. I think if we put a ladder right here, they can get that debris, and then everything else will fall eventually. Oh, they did get it. Awesome. So we can deconstruct this and this. Once they go to the top one, we can deconstruct this one. There we go. We're gonna do one more dig command before we send everyone home, so it's gonna be everything on the right, everything on the left. I forgot to cancel the plants. And from the looks of it, we're gonna have to take a quick break in a couple minutes, because it seems like my delivery will be here soon. Now they have all that. Let's go this way as well, which gets everything above the steam generators. We're gonna need a way to get up to that salon. Get rid of all those ladders, get rid of all of these. Don't think there's any... Oh, this I don't want deconstructed. After that, I don't think there's anything else that we don't want to take into out. All this can go. Actually, we need ladders here just so we can get rid of that. Oh, no. Okay, that's still been dormant. Apparently we picked up the databanks from that, so let's build these. These are going to have to be on a very high priority. And I can't get over this little gap here. My delivery has been delivered, so I will be back in just a few minutes. This is pretty much going to be a bathroom break. And now we're back. And now I only have to worry about one more order that is yet to say that it's even trying to be here. Still says now arriving today, but that's what it said all of yesterday, and it never said that it was out for delivery, so I don't know what's going on with that. So anyway, let's continue going. We need to add ladders. At least right here. We could condense the ladders. We don't really need this many. But I'll do that anyway. Somebody is halfway stuck up there. We're also going to need ladders all throughout this as well. And I'm not going to be able to get those two things, so we're going to have to go like that. A bunch of ladders over here. And that should be all the ladders except for this one that I'm trying to place now. Right there. With all that, they should be able to get everything. Dupe is over here being stuck because they're doomed. They're doomed. There's a Sweetle over there. Thought that was a hatch for a second. And now we're being bombarded by meteors. I almost said rockets. These are gold meteors. And they didn't deconstruct the outside ladder first, so now I have to build that ladder in again. We can deconstruct that now. And this. And this. And that's pretty much every ladder as I jump over. There's a hatch. I want to make sure we have that queued up to be killed. Don't need that. We're not going to need these ladders anymore. We need this ladder just for those two tiles. Now we can deconstruct all of this and dig that little bit of sand. There's another hatch. And another hatch. Then we're going to deconstruct all those ladders. How are the ladders on this side? We still kind of need some of these ladders. We don't really need these. Because from here on, this is separated now. And we have a way to get up there, which is great. So let's get that swept up. And they're almost done over here. And once they're done that, I'll give them some time to rest. And then we'll send them back out on the rockets to get sent all the way home. Looks like they're trying to come up here to fix all this, so I'll let them do that as well. The gold meteors do hit hard. We also didn't finish doing all this, so let's build the last bit of that. Do a blueprint, maybe? Plastic? And then get the press it. I think it chose the plastic, I'm not really sure. This one pipe is very, very broken. Might have to change this to being 30. And then put this on a 7 to fix it. It looks like either the water is getting too hot or the water is getting too cold. And that is for our plants and our spawn, so we kind of need that. Eventually we will run out of hydrogen. Is someone going to come in here and fix this? It's only sandstone. Should be a higher priority than sweeping. It is. I mean, Gino did just pick up a bunch of sandstone and brought it inside. Oh, we should probably look at our new dupes to make sure that they're getting their skills in. So, Mima is the builder. Camille, I think, was supposed to go into plumbing and then carrying. Let's do that. Improved farming, then they'll get their carrying buffs. Mima's gonna get their demolition. And I think that's it. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Not including carrying. 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Okay. We could have them go into pyrotechnics, but that's only for the black shot maker usage. We're not gonna do that. Alright, nobody has fixed this yet, still. I think they're waiting to get this all taken care of first, which should only need 2 more people to come over here. Will has grabbed all of that, so now the next person should be coming over to fix this. It only takes 40 sandstone, and nobody's coming over to fix it, because it is doing weird things. Alright, let's deconstruct it then, and then place in a new pipe. because of weird shenanigans. Why is all of this chlorine staying right here? Seems very odd, but we're gonna add this in. That's the final layer of that. This should now be working, and hopefully we don't get much breaking pipes. So I'm hoping that with me raising the temperature up by 5, it should keep everything else running. Oh, we're having power issues, it seems. Oh, that's right, this is gonna have to be set to 30 as well. In order for us to empty it out, they have to be set on the same thing. Okay, now it's working the way it was intended to. The only downside is that that's going to warm up the base by that 5 degrees, which I think most plants die at. I don't think most plants live past 30 degrees. If we take a look at these, they do die around 30, so we might be in an issue here. But we are cooling down the base as well, so the water being slightly hotter isn't going to affect us as badly as it might in a different circumstance. Okay. I think we're in a good point to either head back home or just sit here and fully mine out this entire thing. I don't think that's what we want to save or to do for the rest of the stream. I think this should be something that we come back to. So let's send everyone home to Budado. Begin launch sequence. We should go down the 3 suits. Nope, 2 suits. That's correct. If we had a steam room in here, we would be able to take all that heat. Now, that was something that I did think about doing. If we were to try and take the steam from this, or take the heat from it, all we would have to do is move the rocket platforms to the left side instead of having it on the right. And in terms of our main base, we would just have to do the opposite. We'd have to go from the left side to the right side. It wouldn't take too long of a setup time. We have our diamond press, so we can create diamonds from coal. Let's get into this, because we never finished that. If I were to do this, it would take a little bit of time to set up. Let's just dig all of that. We've also been venting out stuff for so long. Set that to auto. And now we're really just waiting for the rocket to come back, which shouldn't take too long. It is entombed, which is an issue, so let's do that. Put that on a 7. We need somebody to come up here and do that now. Down here, they almost got all of the water, but it does move around and do weird things as they're mopping it up. There's also water here for some weird reason. Why is there water? I don't understand why there's water out here. That's oxygen, so that wouldn't be creating water. That also doesn't have to be there. It should be all the water. It's just weird that it kept falling down. The other rocket did land. So now let's figure out how we want to do this. Definitely want it over here, and then 2 tiles away, and another one. We don't need to go all the way up to the top anymore, so we're going to go to here. I think it's this tile. It is. One that way, one this way. Pole going all the way down. Once that's all built, we'll be able to do the rest. Actually, we can do this now. We're gonna have to bridge over the petroleum. And now that they're reversed, we'll put the water on the left side instead. That's the first petroleum. And the second one goes up here. No, the water's not even connected in. Why are we not... You know, it doesn't matter, because we're going to be putting it in over here. So, up here at this height is the water. And I don't know how many tiles away this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. I think that's 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to need a bunch of ladders to get over there to put in all those pipes. The same thing with the petroleum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There and there. That's one ladder over, so that is where it's going to end up being, and then we just need to go like this and this. That should be everything. Did I do the pole? I did do the pole, I can see it right there. We are going to need ladders out this way. So I'll do them like that, so they can get both. We're going to need one ladder over on this side, I think. No, we have the pole. Never mind. We just need to let them do this. One thing we're going to have to do is reverse the bridges here. And we can also deconstruct all this. And we're gonna have to go like this. Separate it. We can put in the bridge now. Which goes this way, and that's gonna bring it all the way up to here once they have this pipe set up. We could move one rocket over now, but I kind of want them to do all the pipes first. If they do this side, that's fine. We need that rocket platform built, though. think what we're going to do is we're going to send a rocket up, destroy that platform, and then have it just land wherever it wants. I was debating on if we're going to do 2 rockets at once going in orbit and then coming back down, but I think we'll just settle with 1 at a time. And now this stuff is going to still have to come down. And they're not going to release until the rocket goes up. But we're getting there. They didn't put the pole in yet. Not sure why that is. We can tell them to start deconstructing this stuff. It'll give us some more debris and stuff for us to build with. Ah! What are you deconstructing? No. Alright, it is about 8 minutes past when we were supposed to do our last prediction. So let's start it now. In the top left corner is our 3rd blueprint going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper. You guys have 10 minutes to decide. And when we hit the 4-hour mark, that's when we're going to actually open the pod. I'm curious as to why this one is darkened and that one still has, like, light to it. Kind of very odd. They are choosing to do weird things first. How far away is the water on this line? It's gonna take quite a while for it to come from all the way over here. But it should, the moment it gets up to this point, start bringing the water over. Petroleum already moved up to the next bridge. We're just waiting for them to do a couple more things. It looks like they're prioritizing the bridges, or the pipes first. Okay, now I can start getting rid of the ladders that we're not going to need. Can I disable? Ooh, I can disable this. Make sure the rocket that we want on here goes there. Alright, let's tell them to also sweep up all this. And we never finished this either. They have to go far distance just to get the cobalt. There's water over here for some reason, and there's debris. Why is there debris? That was weird. I also don't know why that's there. Guess we'll just ignore that for now. They did put in that platform. It looks like this has been enabled or disabled. No, there's a settings errand. Let's just cancel that. I'm gonna send them out. We're gonna also have to build the buffer tank thing here. It's not gonna matter how it begins with the gases. We can just do this and then deconstruct everything on the inside. We're gonna need a ladder at least right there so they can get up and in here. And then just deconstruct everything. We'll start with that because I can't reach it from down here. We are going to heat up the insulated tiles a little bit. They are in orbit. I want them to be on platform 615, it looks like. Do that. Whoop, didn't mean to close out of that. 615. So now they should come in here and refuel. And that should also be calling up the water if it isn't already moving. It is now. Alright, now we just need to send that one up. We do need to get rid of these pipes, so let's do ladder, 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 ladder. So we can deconstruct all that. We're still waiting for them to do all these pipes. We can, however, send that up now. So that just sent our builders up with them. We want to deconstruct this. I knew they could get scolded from in the suit. Just didn't seem true. Deconstruct all of that. And now the only other platform that's available is the one that they're going to land on. So it doesn't matter. How much heat is going to be injected down here? Wait a bit, is carbon dioxide getting down there? No. Alright, and that rocket got entombed because there's debris there. I wanted to get this in first. Oh, I got it. Okay. Nice. Deconstruct that as well, and they should just be building what needs to be built. I went one pipe too far. I spend the time fixing that with the amount of dupes that are going to be in that rock. Oh, they destroyed it. Okay. I didn't think they could with the rocket there. I thought it had to be gone. Oh, that's the wrong 4. The icons being underneath the tile confuses me a lot. Alright, that's the old rocket platform taken care of. They just need to do all this now. We're also going to tell them to deconstruct all. And get rid of all of that. And actually, wait, no, we do want that. We actually want an atmosphere in here now. Of water. Did we spend the time making this a 2-block tall roof? It wouldn't take too long on this side, at least. Let's just do it. All the way through there. Then we'll somehow get up here and do that stuff. We'll fix this one later, because we're not going to be sending out anything soon. I am debating on how we're going to do this though. That's one long ladder line to get all the way over to here. Put the ladders there. We chopped off the ladders on this side, so let's put them back in. Hi, Mama. So, Mama is the mother cat of my kitten, and she's still not used to the kitten being around, but they were both up here until she realized that he was here, and then she hissed and ran away. Also, one of my earbuds did die. Alright, how are these doing interior-wise? This is almost all stocked up, aside from not having rad bills. This one is not stocked at all. I'm not sure why. 7, 7, 7. That's a 5, that should be a 7. That is a 7, that is a 7. Okay, so we just needed to make the food a 7 and it should get filled up. Wanted to see if this is the rocket one. It is not, so it must be this one. We're gonna set this to be 50 so that it's holding the same amount as the rocket would. That is on a 6, so they should be moving stuff out of there more. There is a lot of fluid oxygen in here. I think what we'll do to get in here is just deconstruct this. And let's also get rid of this. Get the ladders in, we'll get rid of that. Then we have to place in all the drywall again. Which doesn't take too long. we did just get another research done of the decontamination shower, so let's do more research and get the rad bolt generator. Why didn't you guys go over here? Weird. Guys are choosing weird things to get rid of first. Oh, there was one more drywall that I missed. And now they are stuck in here until they deconstruct everything. So they're probably going to start building this. Yep, I had a feeling they would. So this doesn't have to be yellow anymore, because they're going to build this one and then get out. At least I hope they will. Not all. I want this on the buttons. Alright, now if they clean this up pretty quickly, we can close this off before we end stream. I think I'll place in the tiles here now. This right here. We'll also get in this side as well. I'm gonna have to prioritize picking up all this though, because they're gonna build and dig the other stuff. By dig, I meant deconstruct. As you can see here. And this is going to give us our atmosphere for the water. We're also going to have to do the math on how much water we're going to need in this area. They are doing this pretty quickly. It looks like every 3 or 4 tiles can be picked up by one dupe. That dude just picked up 4 tiles worth of debris. There's only 1 tile left. And they finished that off, so let's box this in. The only reason why we have this being 2 blocks thick is just so I can copy this side. Now, another thing I want to know is how many suits do we have available? So if I come over here and first build a door, in the oil here. We're gonna stop everyone from being able to leave for a couple cycles just to make sure that everyone is inside here. Because we have way too many suits over here. We have 5 extra suits, so that means 5 of these should not have enough suits. Let's turn that on a 6 that are built over top of the insulated tiles. How do they do at mopping everything at the bottom? Ah, they got everything. Nice. Let's get this big pipe then. Let's also get the power. The actual building itself. That one weird ladder that was there. And then we have all of this. That's on the main power spine, so that's fine. Get rid of all of this. This leads to there, which leads all the way over to our water, which we should probably have turned on. We then have this, and all of this. All this is going to take a very long time for us to deconstruct everything. This there, this goes to here, this goes to there, which then goes up and over. This is the regular salt water, I think. I was gonna say regular water, but it's the salt water. This goes very far area. Covers a very far area. So I'll have them get all that deconstructed, which it looks like they are doing pretty well. Construct all those as well. Hopefully we don't break anything. We'll know if something's broken because we'll have a large amount of water on the bottom. Get those few things built in. I have a little bit of water over here. That's not what I meant though. That I think is more liquid shenanigans from on this side. Not sure. But anyway, we can get rid of some of these bridges like this one, which was to prioritize the geyser over filter or the other way around. We can get rid of all these bridges. Okay, build, there we go. This is gonna have to be separated. And then we get into here, which that can be deconstructed, this can be deconstructed, this can be deconstructed. Then this has to be separated. We have another bridge here that that we don't need. Deconstruct that as well. And then I just need to combine them all again. Same with right there. We have some bridges over here that we don't need. Separate that, separate that. Connect it all in. I'll do some weird water shenanigans until the bridges are gone. We should be fine at that point. Ah, right, they do have all this to deconstruct. And there goes the other headphone. We have 2 pipes here that didn't get queued up to be deconstructed, which is odd. It looks like they're prioritizing deconstructing over building, which is perfect for us for right now. They did forget about that one bridge there. It's fine. My other earbud did just die, so that's how you know we're for sure at the 4-hour mark. I wonder why the right earbud dies before the left. It's always that way, it's never been the opposite. Why is there no water going out? We do still have that bridge queued up, so somebody should be running over to that bridge. Somebody is now just getting over to it. With that, we're bringing the water in at once. Let's do a regular pod. Get the mallow seeds again. And right now, we are going to queue this up, once I can click on the door, to not let anyone out. I want all dupes inside doing nothing. Which is either going to mean that we have 5 empty spaces here, or we have too many suits. So there should be 3 dupes that are still outside. I pause when we do vitals to find where they all are. This does not seem like the right way to do this. If I click on this... Oh. There's a way to click through all your dupes, and I don't remember what it is, other than clicking on this, and then... Allocam each time. Click on a new dupe. You're outside, so there's 1 outside. That's A, right? Yep. Amy. Becky. Google. Dupe. Yeah. It looks like Willow's the only one outside. Oh, Dupe is also outside, so that's 2 of 3 that I think are out. And me. Ninth mod. Sophie is also outside, so that's 3 people. Should be the only 3 that are outside. Oh, there's a 4th person outside. So there's 4 people outside. We have 1 extra suit. So instead of us having 1 extra suit here, we have 2, which means that I might have 1 less over here. No, I do have an extra suit here. Oh no. But we're gonna wait for those 4 people to come back in. As well as queue up these to have suits delivered. I do somewhat remember making an extra suit thinking I had enough at one point. It was a couple streams ago. Now there should only be 1 dupe still out. And this just opened up an additional 4 people to be able to leave. Willow is that? No, that's dupe. Dupe is out there building because they are a builder. Okay, we are fine. I'm going to deconstruct this. Now that we know for sure there's only one extra dupe out. Door is deconstructed. That means everyone can leave. We now have up to 20 people able to leave the base, which meant that we had 8 people stuck in the base at all times because we didn't have an extra 4 suits available. That's a quick and easy way to figure out how many people don't have suits. So, this is going to be now the end of the stream. I'm going to sit up for a moment. We're going to do our last prediction and talk about what we're going to be doing on Wednesday. Actually, we're not streaming Wednesday. What we're going to be doing on Thursday. First, I want to queue up all of these puffs that are out and about where they shouldn't be. None of them should be outside of their areas. Alright, last prediction. We have 6.9 thousand in bottoms, 10 in buildings. For sake of the underdog, I hope it's buildings this time. We did have 2 blueprints. Oh, we also went down a number. And we have a building! That is awesome for whoever did buildings. This does not count as a decoration, although it does give the core. It is a building instead. It's not a sculpture or a painting, which requires a decorating dupe. That is what decorations are considered on this channel. So whoever chose buildings just got 6.9 thousand points. Who was it? No, there's a way to see who it was. I never remember who it was. It was all to Redneck. Congratulations, Redneck. He's got 6.9 thousand points. Who put in the points? Can I see who put them in? No, I can't. It looks like one person did. But anyway. What we're going to be doing on Wednesday is sending our rocket with all the other dupes, which we need to make sure that we're not all selected over here. Should be just dupe in this rocket. Looks like it is. And then this one should have all of them, which it does. So we're going to be sending this rocket all the way over to Chiliol, which should speed run building and digging out this entire thing, just like we did on the second asteroid. We're going to have to take a couple trips back and forth, but we did just increase how much food we had stockpiled in here. So, unlike when we first went over to our second asteroid, we'll be able to stay here longer in the third one. So that's what we're going to be doing on Thursday in about 4 days. Other than that, I will see you guys again on Friday, where we do even more. I have no idea what we're going to be queued up to do. What I am going to queue them up to do right now is when they're here. Sweep up all that. Let's get rid of some of the debris on the very bottom of the base. Hopefully there's no more liquids getting dropped from the top. I don't know where the water keeps reoccurring from. It looks like it is a pipe that is broken, but at the same time there's nothing going on. Now this needs to be joined back in, so that will fill up these pipes. And I also need to know why the water's not coming up here. And I think that's because this needs a bridge. I deconstruct that and we put this here. Actually, after the autosave. Can I cut that and then the water starts coming up? Yes. Okay, that is definitely what was going on. The pipes didn't know which way it was going, so once they add the bridge, both of these rockets should be fine. I think they actually are both filled with water. Nope, one is not. They both are not. Never mind. So if they build that bridge right now, we should be able to fill both rockets when the water gets up here. Welcome back, Redneck. You did just win a lot of points. That was all sent in by one person. Okay, water's going up. That should be there in time. Actually, we could wait. We could not wait. They are still building this. But you know what? We are going to wait until they build all this when we come back on Thursday. So let's save the game, raid out, find out who... Or save the game and go into a raid out scene to see who we're going to raid out to. Save. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.